So Garrett, this is a train wreck already.
Yeah.
I've already messed this all up. So I apologize, but we're gonna kick it off with some Nintendo Talk Live right now.
We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live. It. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Nintendo Talk Live. I am Bobby, the Nintendo Guru, joined by one of the coolest guys that I know on the Twitters that doesn't have a podcast, Garret Bland. Or do you?
Hi.
You didn't start anything,
how's it going?
right? You haven't started anything since the last time I talked to you, right?
I didn't start anything,
okay,
no.
Good.
Yeah, just Twitter stuff.
You write. You do write.
Yeah, I contribute to WeTheNerdy.com.
Yes.
Sometimes.
Awesome website. Mm-hmm. Real quick, let people know, like, what do you do? Where can they find you? Where can they find your work and all that stuff?
So you can follow me on Twitter at Bland725, just my last name, Bland. And what I try to do, Monday through Friday, pretty much every morning, Eastern time, I would say 8:30 a.m. I would post gaming news.
Okay.
And so I try to go through, run the gambit of general news that happened either the previous day, in the middle of the day, or that morning. I would go through NeoGAF forums, Twitter as well, and I would go through probably main publishing sites, IGN, Polygon, Kotaku, and yeah, pretty much that's what my shtick is.
The thing that I love about you doing that, though, is if something really interesting comes, you slide into my DMs real sexy like, and you're like, "Hey, Bobby, you should do this later on today," and I'm like, "Oh, I like this," and then I transfer it to Nintendo Talk. So that's I want to thank you. I don't think I've ever thanked you for that, so I want to thank you.
Everything that I see Nintendo related or what you would really like, I try to send it over to you. Let's see if you're interested in it.
Yeah, let's real quick. I want to give some shout outs and some hellos to people that are in the chat. We got Brendan Myers, Ho Shui Ponce. He's over here talking about a free book that you can get if you sign up for audible.com over on Amazon.
Just got that.
Did you really?
I just got that.
There you go. There you go. I think I'm going to do it. Hopefully it's still live after this show, and then I'm going to jump over and do it. Fernando Pelzer, what is up? Andrew, how are you? Mew Mew, when I start to play Splatoon 2, yes, you can absolutely join me. Aaron Daughtry, what is up? The Gamer, how are you? Joel Brooks, Nintendo Family Gaming, how's it going tonight? Matthew Knight, what's up, my man? Jason Lacey, Fluxy, how you doing, sir? He started a new podcast. He started a Nintendo podcast. There's too many
competing.
Yeah, he's trying to compete with me. I don't like it. I'm not happy with it. So no, it's, you know what? It's cool. It's cool. It's all good. Nintendo Shack. It's called. Go check that out with him and Donnie Reese. Who else we got here? We got Garret Blake. Oh, you threw me under the bus, Garret. I'm going through the. I'm like, we got Garret. I'm like, no, he just said Bobby dropped the ball. I did drop the ball. We'll get into that. You son of a Ultra. Alien, what is up? I hope I said your name right. I probably didn't. It is what it is. I'm not very good with that stuff. Okay, so what happened? We'll break it down. What happened? Essentially, the long and the short of it is we're getting ready to go live. I got my whole sweet little music thing playing for people, and then I'm getting ready to go, and I go, "Oh my God, I didn't do your overlay." And I'm like, "Wait a minute, hold on," and I real quick. And I jump over and I make the overlay. I just drop his name in. That's all I had to do. The overlay was built. Just had to drop his name in. But I also didn't do John. I also didn't do John Wahl, who's up behind you. Oh, excuse me. John Wall's up next, and I was like, I didn't even do his. I'm in trouble, man. Hold on, Garret. I gotta do his next too. So for those that don't know, what we're doing is we're doing a back-to-back show. Oof. It's the first time I've done this. It's gonna be something new. So probably 5 minutes prior to 9 o'clock, I'm going to kick Garret out. I'm going to throw up the music thing again. Go grab John Wahl, bring him in, and then we're going to do an hour with John Wahl. So we got 2 hours back to back. It's going to be fun though. Hopefully I can talk for 2 hours about
very
Nintendo.
Fun.
Yeah. Garret, what? So I heard you don't like Nintendo.
Who told you that?
Listen, that's the rumor.
Did Sean did?
That's the rumor that you hate Nintendo. So I just want to make sure that I want to clear the air before we get going. I didn't hear that. I'm totally messing with you. I figured it's a good way to start it off. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, throwing me off under the bus here.
You threw me under the bus earlier, so I figured I'd come back with something to get you a little miffed up.
You got me.
But, you got me. So, okay, but the thing I don't know, in all actuality, is where does your history begin with Nintendo?
It starts off with a little console called the Super Nintendo entertainment system.
This little console?
Yeah.
A little bigger than this, though.
Yeah, a little bigger, and I think that's the European version, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you're super fancy.
I got this one.
See, I don't even have an SNES Classic.
I got two.
Oh my gosh.
You don't even have one?
No.
Why?
No.
What's the reason?
I got lazy. That's the first.
That'll do it. Yeah, because you got to give up your life to you know.
Yeah, I remember that one day that they were opening pre-orders online, and man, I just could not get one. It was just luck of the draw. It was like I was in a meeting, in a call. I was working on something, and then it just popped up randomly. Yeah. I'm sure I'll get one eventually. It seems promising that they'll ship enough units. But yeah, I started with the SNES back in when I was like 5 years old or something like that, and I don't want to tell you that year because that was probably when the N64 was going on too. So I was actually just playing kind of hand-me-downs, previous consoles. I played games like Super Mario World, of course. Donkey Kong Country was one of my staples. I love Donkey Kong Country. What else did I? Star Fox was a big one, and of course Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past. So that's where it kind of started, and that's how I got into gaming essentially. And then from then on, I had an N64, GameCube, and a Wii. Loved Super Smash Brothers. Had fond memories with Super Smash Brothers Melee. Playing with friends in just summers, just all day. I main Falco, and I still watch competitive till this day.
Do you really?
Yeah, it's amazing stuff, man. It's on another level that I cannot comprehend. It is their minds are going 10, 20 times faster than even.
I think the thing is see, I really suck at Smash, so that's my issue. If I was good at Smash, then I probably could watch that and be like, okay, I see what they did there. I get how overachieving that move is, because I look at it, I just see guys flying across the screen. I'm like,
I know,
that's cool, that's awesome. But I don't know why it's awesome. You know what I mean? It's like it's like when I was a kid, I could play baseball very well. So when the time came to play baseball, I was like, or watch baseball, I was like, okay, I know what's going on. I know that he made a mistake. I know. Same thing with Splatoon. With Splatoon, like when they do the Splatoon tournaments, I get hyped up because I watch these guys play, and I'm actually like, man, they're making mistakes here. They're making mistakes here. They need to go over here. Like, you start to break it down and can see where things are. So that, I guess, would be,
definitely.
So that would be where I am with that. I need to, I just suck at Splatoon. I just hit the smash. I just hit the smash stick all day. I'm just like boom, 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 boom.
See, I can understand people looking at Smash competitive and not find it entertaining at all, because it's a lot of stuttering. It's a lot of moves that that just looks like so jittery and glitchy. But they're actually they're trying to predict the other player's moves, and that's like a lot with fighting games in general. It's just predicting what they're gonna do next. Especially with the stage and the character, it all just, it just up in the air of what kind of strategy, what they're going to use. Yeah.
I mean, I'm watching Jason Lacey here, who is really good at Smash, and he's sitting here talking about like, oh, I love Falco. He's my bae for some time, even if he is mid-tier. Jason Lacey actually plays against families. Like,
oh, really?
He'll play Donnie Reese, and Donnie brings his kids in as well, and it's 3-on-1, and Jason beats them all.
I do that sometimes. I do 1v3 with some of my other friends. Yeah. We did a team battle. They did, actually, they put, friendly smash, they were able to hit each other. Okay. So it wasn't that much of a disadvantage, but still, if you just dodge them enough, they'll hit each other.
Yeah. You just stay out of the way. Go ahead, knock each other out. I'm good over here. You guys have fun. What is your favorite Nintendo franchise in all this?
It's got, oh yeah, so going back to history, Pokemon.
Really?
It's probably my favorite. Yes, I grew up with it. Not as much now. I played Pokemon Moon. I got so burnt out in that game.
Yeah.
It was good. It was refreshing. It was just so what I kind of did in that game is more traditional than new gamers. They hand you an item. Ever heard of like XP share?
Yes.
So they hand you that now in each game.
Where before you had to like keep moving your Pokemon around to level them up, and now it's like you get like the bulk of the XP goes to the one that was fighting, and then it flurries off to the rest. So they all level up together. Which thank God they do that, because I would never play that game otherwise.
Yeah, thank God they do that. But I was so like stubborn. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna turn this off. I'm not gonna play with XP share.
You turned it off.
Yeah, I turned off XP share. I felt like it was too easy,
You're
and then
nuts.
so I was proven wrong. Probably pretty much at the end of the game before the Elite Four, where I had to grind. I don't know, like 15 hours to get to the right level. I'm like, okay, these games are designed around with the XP share now.
Yeah.
Whereas in previous games with blue, red, and gold, silver, it wasn't like that.
Yeah. It was much
at all.
different.
But yeah, Pokemon was probably my most influential Nintendo franchise. I've met many friends with Pokemon. I remember just playing nonstop in schools and daycare centers. And I remember figuring out a cool little. You remember the color scheme trick with Pokemon Blue and Red? So what you could do, you could turn on the screen, and then it'll flash Game Boy, right? And on that Game Boy screen, you can just move left, right, up, down, or A, B. Just press some buttons. It'll change the color scheme.
Really?
It won't be just black and white. You can invert the color. You can put it red and whatever.
Yeah.
If you had the Game Boy Color.
Yeah.
So, anyways, it was one of my favorite franchises in general.
You kind of enforce the I don't want to say rumor, the myth or the hypothesis that I instilled on Sean Capri, where when Sean and I first started talking, and I said, when we first started talking, recently we started talking about the Switch and how it would take off or whatever, you know what I mean? And then what happened was I was listening to Sean's podcast, and he was bringing on a lot of people from the Kind of Funny community. Like that's
right.
And you are part of the Kind of Funny community, correct?
Right. Yes.
Okay. And the one thing that I said to Sean is most of the Kind of Funny community is diehard Sony fans, but there's always this pocket that are diehard Pokemon fans as well, or love Pokemon. I said, so if Nintendo can get Pokemon to the Switch, you're going to see a lot of people that own a PlayStation just flock because they love Pokemon, and they're going to go over there. So
yeah,
I mean, you got the Switch for a different reason, obviously.
Oh yeah.
The one thing I take from you in all that, like I was looking through your Twitter feed and stuff today, and I was just going through and looking at pictures and all that. The one thing that I take from you is you're just a gamer. You don't give a damn. You don't give a damn what it's on. You just want to play games, and that's it.
Yeah. And I play on every platform,
and that's admirable. Like I am a total jack off, and I prefer Nintendo. I slide over to Sony a little bit. I am planning on getting an Xbox. Hopefully, my wife gets me one for Christmas. I did ask for one for Christmas.
The 1S or 1X?
I just asked for the 1S because of... Yeah. And here's my reason. I was going to get a 1X, and I was going to buy it myself. But I looked at it, and I was like, man, $500. Okay, but what if I don't like it? Because I've never owned an Xbox before. I've never even played an Xbox before.
Now that's stretching it. Wow.
Yeah. So my thing is this: is if I don't, or if I don't like it, it's easier to just be like, "Hey, we burned $200." Than "Hey, we burned." I mean, I know I'll like Minecraft, and I think I'll like Minecraft better on that version than anything.
Yeah, much more fleshed out version.
Yeah.
Probably.
Plus it's like they got to do like super cool looking graphics, like these power. It's like an HD version of the game and all that. And
oh yeah, 4K version of Minecraft.
Yeah, man,
it's revolutionary. You know,
oh,
it's just like you're looking at real life.
You know, let's stop it. I don't need that. I don't need that negativity in this conversation right now. I got excited for a minute. And you just swiped it and took it all away from me. No, I think I like Forza 3.
Okay.
Or whatever.
Are you a big car fan?
I can get wrapped up into that. I like I like NASCAR. So I can get roped up into that stuff pretty simply.
Oh, I love the Horizon series.
I definitely want to play Cuphead.
Oh, me too. Oh gosh,
my wife
looks so good.
My wife is a big Fallout 4 fan. She platinum.
Okay.
You were involved in that conversation. You remember when all that went down? She platinum Fallout 4. I actually bought her, or she bought all the DLC for it, and she started trying to, like, you can't platinum because they don't platinum trophies for the DLC, but she wanted to get all the trophies in those as well, and then Splatoon hit, and she kind of stopped. So, but for her, like, and the thing that I take away always is, of all the versions, Xbox typically has the better version of Bethesda games. In terms of, like, how they play and how they handle, usually they're better.
I guess so.
Better.
I've only played Fallout 4, and I think that's the only Bethesda game I have in terms of Bethesda Game Studios, right? Are you just consolidated that? Yeah. It was fine on PS4. Yeah. I didn't find any issue with it.
Oh, there's some glitches.
That's a Bethesda game.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like. I'm probably absolutely wrong, but I know that Microsoft and Bethesda work very closely together.
They do.
So that's what my thinking is. It's like, hey, we'll put them there.
And the most interesting relationship right now is Bethesda and Nintendo. What is this came out of left field, man.
I know, man.
Like,
I'm loving it.
The first time I saw Skyrim, and I'm like, on that screen, the reveal, that really got me. And now they're announcing Wolfenstein 2 and Doom on it. I'm really shocked. I think they nailed something on the engine really down.
They got it down
with the Switch.
Apparently, and I've said this numerous times on different podcasts stuff. Apparently, there's a slider they have, and all it is they just put in the specs of what they're trying to get it to play on. And it just, like, dampens the textures or pulls out enemies to make it run smoothly and make it run good. Apparently, it's running at a locked 30 frames per second. They are tinkering for Doom. They're tinkering to try to possibly get it up to 60 if possible. But for me, I just feel like this. Frame rates, yes, they're important. I'm not going to act like they're not important. But I feel like the bigger thing of frame rates is dropped frame rates. As long as it runs smooth, it doesn't matter if it's 30 or 60 or whatever. Personally, I don't have an issue with it.
It can't go below 25 for me. To be honest with you. It gets a little. Like, I get a headache actually. And drop frame rates, but yeah, totally.
As long as it's
smooth, 30 frames is fine.
Look, I played the original Legend of Zelda, and I played the original Mega Man. And you want to talk about slowdown? Go play those games.
I played Mega Man.
Yeah, it's like
I was like, wait, what is this?
Crap? You're like, all of a sudden all these enemies are coming. It's like slow motion run, and so you're like shooting. It's like, and then one enemy disappears, like boop, and you start running fast again. It's like, what the hell is this? So, yeah, I don't have any issue with.
And my friend's like, yeah, it's supposed to do that. I'm like,
it's not supposed to. It's not supposed to.
Apparently, it's supposed to.
Well, here's the thing. In the original, it's not supposed to. Any version you play now, they've bugged it, not bugged it, but they've rigged it so that way it still does it to give the feel of the original. They don't want to take that feel away. Because what it's running on now, like if you put, hypothetically, you put Mega Man Legacy Collection on the Nintendo Switch,
be wonderful.
It would run.
They need to do it.
Oh my god, dude, they need to do it. But it would run smoothly. It would have no issues at all. Now,
that's true.
You know what I mean? Like it should be able to. I would hope. I mean, I could be wrong. Nintendo's, we all know the Switch is very powerless. I mean, it may not be able to handle an NES game running smoothly, you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
But obviously, I'm being facetious. I'm just being a jackass. But if they could if they did put those games on there, I think you would notice right away, like, hey, these games they've geared them to like do that slowdown and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So Twin World is up, man. How you doing? Damn, I'm coughing like crazy now. I don't know why. Okay, so you said you didn't get an SNES Classic.
No, I didn't.
But you are looking at them. Is there anything on there that you look at and you go, I really want to play this? Like, this would be the first game I play if I get one?
Oh, first game I would play? Definitely would be Zelda.
Okay.
Because I've beaten that game so many times now.
I have too. That was
it's so wonderful.
For a long time, that was my all-time favorite Zelda game.
It's still my all-time favorite.
Yeah.
Like, I know Breath of the Wild's really, really good, and I enjoyed my time with it. Mm-hmm. But something with Link to the Past hit a spark to me. That continue on gaming from then on. That was the base, basically. And playing with my family too, because they would play with me. They would help me out with that game because I was like 5 or 6. I didn't know a lot what was going on in that game, but I still played with them. It was really good.
Yeah, I loved. That's definitely my favorite console.
Yeah.
I just have so much history and memory from it. Mm-hmm. I didn't con my mom into getting it for me, but I begged her to get it for me. And I want to say I was 15 or 14 when I got it. Something like that.
Okay.
What did he say?
Man, I was so young.
Oh,
wait, what?
Sean Albright said, "G-man, get your hands away from your face."
That's my friend, Sean.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate you coming in and keeping him in check because it's been all night with this where he keeps like trying to put his hands in his mouth and stuff when he
I'm
talks.
just wondering, Is
that what it is? You're just wondering? Like I convinced my mom to get me an SNES when it first came out, and she at first she didn't want to. My parents didn't believe in upgrading consoles. They believed that like that one console should last you forever, and I begged my mom, please get me this, and I was like, I take care of my stuff. My brother doesn't. You don't have no worries about that. Like, I will take care of this. I will make this all good. And she agreed, and she got it for me. And man, that was like the greatest Christmas ever, man. I was like flipping out, man. I remember my brother going away for the weekend, and my mom's like, "Well, since you're home alone, why don't you invite your cousin Johnny down?" And me and him played SimCity and Super Mario World all weekend long. Like, we just kept playing over and over and over.
SimCity?
Yeah.
That was on the SNES?
Yeah, man.
I'm sorry. I don't have the biggest library. Like, I don't know the biggest library in SNES. I just know the main games because I was so young when I played.
Yeah.
But dang, SimCity.
SimCity was on there, yeah, man.
It's like 2D and everything.
It was top down. It was like real plain and all that. But here's the greatest thing, right? My parents were divorced at that time. And so I go to my dad's house and I take my SNES over there. I'm like, "Dad, I want you to check this thing out." And he didn't really care about video games. Like, we would play baseball when I was a kid and stuff like that. Like on like the Atari 2600, and we would play a little bit on the NES and stuff. But he wasn't really a big gamer. So I said to him, I showed him SimCity, and at the time, he was big. I mean, he still is. He was big into construction. He ran a company. He had all this stuff. He was like the planning, the chairman of the planning board for our local town. So he knew a lot about politics and things like that, and how things should be built and all that. So I showed him SimCity, and he's telling me where to place things, and I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And then it would be like, "Okay, go read the mayor's reports," and he'd read them. He goes, "Okay, this is what it means. Now we got to go do this," and we would like bounce out. It was the best city I ever built. We played that thing for like 5 hours straight, man. Just going through, and he's just telling me, like, "Okay, let's put a baseball stadium here and do this and that." It was so awesome, man. We had like most successful thing. I was actually making money and all that. And I never did it again after that, but it was a lot of fun.
Nintendo does such a great job just bringing like family and friends together with their games, and they really hit that message for the longest time.
Yeah.
But I think like this is a big turning point for Nintendo in terms of like not getting away from family. I think they still have that down. It's just they're expanding to other genres. And I read a NeoGAF thread today. It did a compiled list of articles, Nintendo Japanese articles about interviews from Nintendo reps saying we are open to more third-party Japanese games that would normally be on the Vita or PS4. But they're slowly creeping in that space in, and as well as like indie games too. They're really opening up, which good for them. They're finally realizing and letting people in, and hopefully they'll continue to get as much games as they can. Man, like every Tuesday I look at the shop. What I haven't heard most of these games, man.
No, man. I just bought this week, and I just started messing with it today. Fire in the Forest or something like that, dude. This game is everybody needs to buy this game. It is so cool. It's like a survival game, right? You're this young girl with a dog, and you have a raft, and you're going down. It's like kind of post-apocalyptic type thing, but you're going down the river in a raft, and you're dropping off at certain points, and they're like these little areas that you have to like go through and discover and like find. Like you're scavenging and you're getting things, and you're like you have to eat because you're gonna die. You have to like sleep. You have to do all these different things, and like, dude, the soundtrack out of this world, man. It is such a good game. The art style is so unique. Like, I fell in love with this game. I only played it for literally 30 minutes, and I'm like, oh, I'm locked in. I got to play more of this game. It is so good.
Is it like an adventure game?
It's Flame in the Flood. That's what it's called. Okay. Riboflavins corrected me. Thank you, Riboflavins. It's kind of adventurous. You know what I mean? Like, you do have to like hack and slash. Like, things will come after you. Wolves will come after you, and like all these different like things. You have to like build like a trap to catch a rabbit so you can kill it and then eat it and all that stuff, and like it's so cool, man. It is just so awesome. And then like you say, you come back out, you got your boat docked, you jump into your raft, you start heading back down the river, and then you gotta like guide down the river and stuff, like not hit stuff because you don't want your raft to get destroyed. So it is really, really good, man. It hooked me so quickly. I love it, man. I love it.
Oh, that's another game I need to get. I need to get that. I need to sink my life into Stardew Valley. Because I started that on PS4, and then I realized I'm stopping right now because I know I'm going to play so much on the Switch. I haven't gotten that yet because I've been playing Golf Story.
That's another one, man. It's like, dude, and I'm going to say this right now. I bought Yono, and I'm not playing it until they fix the damn game. So there's a glitch where you can't use a Pro Controller. You have to use the Joy-Cons.
Okay. What's Yono?
It's like the top-down Zelda type game, but it's you're an elephant, and there's like all these puzzles and stuff. Like, it is really, really cool, man. It's an amazing game. Like, it is amazing. It's so good. There's just so many good games right now. It's like every week it's like an abundance of good games.
Let me put a plug in right here. I did a review of Azure Striker on Gunvolt.
Yes.
Have you heard of that?
Yeah, I think I have heard of that.
Yeah. So they're 3DS ports.
Yes.
Made by Indie Creates.
Yes.
They're in this Striker pack. It's 2 games ported over. Really, really good too. Man, they were. I guess they were great on 3DS as well, but I didn't try it out. But on Switch. Great controls, great gameplay. It's kind of like Mega Man. It's kind of like Sonic, like a mix between Sonic and Mega Man because you have to be fast, but you have to destroy things too. So yeah, dude, it's so many games that
I bought a Mighty Gunvolt Burst, and that's the one. That one has Beck in it from Mighty Number 9. That is really good, man. Really, really good, man. I'm telling you, the games are insane right now. We are in the highlight of the Switch. It's almost like Nintendo.
Gunvolt Striker Pack. Sorry.
It's almost like Nintendo just took a stroll down the Steam library and was just like, "Oh, you're doing this. You're doing this. How'd you come over here to the Switch and do it?" I just showed it yesterday, dude. I kickstarted a game called My Time in Portia. Dude, It's coming out next summer.
All right.
So good. It's got the flavor of Animal Crossing, Harvest Moon.
I'm down.
All these games, and dude, but it's kind of like adventuring, so it's kind of like Zelda. Reminds me of Fantasy Life. I don't know if you played Fantasy Life on the 3DS, but man, it is really.
I have it. I haven't started it.
Oh my god, that's such a good game. That is such a good game. You lose your life over that one, definitely. Like that one, that sucks you in big time. But yeah, it's just so much fun. This game looks so good, and I was like, I'm gonna back it. And when I backed it, it was 4 days left. They were at 92%. Their goal was $100,000. They actually pulled in $146,000, and I was like,
wow.
Holy cow, man! Like that is crazy. And there's like all these additional things they threw in there. Like it's awesome. I actually pledged $70, and I've never pledged to a game before on Kickstarter. Like never.
Right.
But I did it just because I get my name in the credits. That's all I cared about. I just was like,
there you go.
Somebody will beat this one day and like, who's Nintendo Guru? Okay, let me go see who this idiot is. You know. So
yeah. Gotcha.
But it's all good. It's not really my name, but I'm in the credits of SteamWorld Dig 2 and SteamWorld Heist. They mentioned the SteamWorld ambassadors.
That's another game I need to get, by the way.
Which one? Dig?
SteamWorld Dig 2.
Oh my god, it's another good one, man.
I got the first one.
That is
I played quite a bit
so
of it.
good. I really do hope they bring Heist over to Switch, because I loved Heist.
Really? I tried it. I tried it on PS4. I guess I just didn't get the hook behind it. It's solid. I'll give it that. It's solid gameplay.
Yeah.
It's just I don't get the hook in a sense of progression of SteamWorld Heist. Lots of cool different puzzles. Yeah. But I guess I just didn't quite get the strategy or the controls down to really give it a full.
I loved it. I loved it.
Evaluation.
I played it. I played it for 5 minutes. Fell in love with it, and I was like, "Yeah, I want more." And what I really loved was when they put the DLC pack out. It wasn't that expensive. It was like $5. But what the DLC pack did was it took additional maps and dropped them sporadically within your gameplay. So if you played it through again, there was like all these different maps where it was just like you'd go in and like you're fighting these different robots and stuff, and just cool stuff that they did. Like it was
like when you go into the level, you'll find different rooms, or it would be a completely different area.
Completely different map. Like it's a completely different map that they dropped in there. But they let's just say hypothetically, they did 5 maps in the first world, and then another 5 in the second world, and then they also put a DLC character in there. Which I don't want to do spoilers, but it's
okay.
he's part of the new game, so it's kind of neat. It's kind of neat how you see how that kind of comes together and blends.
All the connections.
Yeah, man, that's what was awesome for me. I literally, such a baby. I sat here.
They're doing something right over there.
Oh, they are. When I watched the credits roll and I saw everything play out, and it hit me what the game actually was in the big story of things. I got choked up and was getting all emotional, and I was like, "What the hell's going on here, man? This is nuts." So I turned my camera on as I'm watching the credits, and I start recording about a 5-10 minute clip of me watching the credits, like a live reaction, and then I start talking to the camera how I emotionally felt about the game, and I sent it to Image and Form, and they showed it to the devs. And they were like all like, they actually, it's funny, when SteamWorld Heist came out, I did a review of SteamWorld Heist. And I didn't really do a review because at that time I wasn't putting numbers on stuff. I didn't feel comfortable doing that. Now I've started putting numbers on things. And I did a first impression. And a bunch of the people from Image and Form reached out to me afterwards and was like, "Man, thank you so much." Like they said they were showing everybody's reviews in the break room or whatever. And when they got to mine, they said mine got like an ovation. Like when they contacted me later, and they were like, they're all freaking out about it and stuff, like, because I guess the things that I was saying was what they were hoping somebody would find in the game, and so they were excited. And I love that team. They're just really good people.
You know, I like when developers actually pay attention to stuff like that. You know, it's just looking at just your videos or any other like smaller-ish channels and actually taking everything to heart and look like you understand I bet they're really satisfied with what they put out there. The way they put their heart and soul into it.
I actually had a couple of them reach out to me before Dig 2 came out and was like, when's your review coming out? Because I want to see it. And I was like, oh my God, dude, that just feels cool. You know what I mean? It's like, this is awesome. So I'm really appreciative of that whole studio. The guys are pretty rock solid, awesome people. Are there any indie games that or developers that aren't really necessarily like diving in hardcore to the Switch that you do hope comes over?
Oh, that comes over to the Switch. Indie games. Man, you just threw a question I may not have the answer to because Stardew Valley was there, man. Yeah. Axiom Verge got in too.
I know. Everything's coming. I really hope. Yeah. I'll tell you what I'm thinking. I'm hoping that Guacamelee makes its way over.
Okay. Well, that's easily a possibility because they have
put Severed on
the other. Which one?
Severed.
Yeah, they have Severed on there. Yeah. Oh man, I platinumed that game that day.
Did you really?
Yeah. It was a handable platinum. It wasn't that bad, but that was a great game. And like they exploited the mechanics of a touchscreen on my Vita, and I'm like, you know, I've never really used the touchscreen. I feel like it's gimmicky, you know, but they've made it to where that was so much fun. And I'm like, I can easily play this on my phone and just have the same great experience. Yeah. So that I guess I need to play Guacamelee though.
Yeah.
That's it. Let's see.
Real quick, Twin World, I want to say this to you. For me personally, I felt like Heist on the Wii U was the best way to play it. I liked the portability of the 3DS. I like the fact that the map was on the bottom screen of the 3DS. I like the HD graphics on the PS4. What I liked about the Wii U version was I had the map in my hands, but I had the HD graphics on my TV. So for me personally, I felt like that was the best version of SteamWorld Heist. But you know, that's just my personal belief. Riboflavin says he'd like to see Terraria come over.
Terraria would be awesome. I've dabbled with that in PS4. That would be a great handheld game. Yeah. I don't have any games screaming at me right now, but I would really they need to get some classic games over.
Yeah.
They really do. I know it's like I'm beating a dead horse, but I'm getting a little angsty. I need my handheld classic games, and I've gotten to the point where I'm going over to my 3DS and I'm just tempted to just buy Donkey Kong Countries, the Super Mario Worlds on there, Link to the Past, and then they just released Pokemon on there, the Gold and Silver.
Yes.
And I'm like, goodness, you're putting so much into 3DS. It's just, I feel like it's just a flip. I feel like it's just a switch to me, but I guess I just don't get. I don't know the in depths of game development, but coming from seeing emulation and seeing how much effort it really takes, I guess it's just some sort of plan they'll have coming forward, because I know they'll need to release SNES Classic. They're gonna have to flesh that out as much as they can to get as much product out. Then they'll probably start getting those classic Nintendo games. What do you think about that?
I feel like, so here's the thing. I feel like there's emulation, and then there's Nintendo emulation. I feel like Nintendo does a really good job with emulation. Like, what they did with Pixel Perfect, that is something that is really awesome. Like, I love Pixel Perfect mode, where all it does is it just pulls the screen in, tightens it up, and makes it a perfect square. And then the first Pixel Perfect was on the 3DS with the Super Nintendo games. And dude, those games look phenomenal. And
they look great on a small screen.
Yeah, and then but here's the thing: when it transitioned with the NES Classic to the big TV in HD, still looks good, spot on, perfect. SNES Classic again. I love Pixel Perfect. I think it is the best way to play these games. I want more of it. Like, I would be. That's what I hope. I hope that they really bring in the pixel perfect, more to perfection, and really, really light it up and do a lot of good stuff with it. So I guess we'll see. But also, honestly, like, and I speak totally for myself. I know that I do this whenever I bring this up, but I don't want Virtual Console right now. I don't have any. Okay. I have zero desire to go back and play. Dude, come on. We just listed like 5 games already that I haven't played.
Yeah.
That I have
that
I haven't had time to play, and I'm like, I don't have time for classics right now. Like, I want classics to come when when the Nintendo hits a lull. But I understand too that like there's new people jumping on board that didn't own a Wii U, that didn't own a 3DS, and they want to play and they want to play those games.
Yeah.
So I totally get that. You know what
I mean? Not to throw this off completely to the side, but I'm just interested on Star Fox 2. Have you played Star Fox 2?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay.
I'm not going to play Star Fox at all. I'm not a fan of Star Fox.
Okay.
The only Star Fox I ever played that I liked was 64.
Okay, I can understand that.
I don't like the whatever they want to call that, the FX effect. Like, I hated that era. Like, that's Virtual Fighter type stuff.
Yeah.
Hated it. Didn't want to mess with it. And so when Nintendo started to go that way, I got really antsy as a kid because I was like, man, please don't go this way. So I didn't buy the original Star Fox because of that.
Gotcha.
I have heard that, like, the things that I've heard about Star Fox 2 is it's just not very good. It's cool to play, you know what I mean? Because you're like, hey, this is a game that never made it. But it's also not fleshed out. There's stuff that you could tell, like, they were testing things and trying things for the future games. And then there's also stuff that people said, like, you could tell, like, they took stuff and took it over to Star Fox 64. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, never mind on that. Matt Knight says, plus the games I haven't finished, Mario plus Rabbids and Golf Story. Yeah, that's another game, Mario plus Rabbids. I love that game so much, man. Yeah. And then I had to do the review for Gunvolt Striker Pack, and then after that I was like, okay, let me get Golf Story, and then I just completely went off the road. And
where your reviews? Where are you doing the reviews at? For Weed and Nerdy?
Weed and Nerdy.
Okay.
Yeah. I've only done 2. That's my latest one.
I love Andrew, man. I gotta say that, dude. Andrew is
a great guy.
He is really good guy, man. If We Ran Nintendo is on Weed and Nerdy.
Yes.
And so that's why I'm part of the whole thing. But I don't like to, like, take advantage of his generosity. I kind of like, hey, I'll let people that really are going to review the stuff go knock themselves out and have a good time with it. I do have something I'm working on. I'm supposed to do it this weekend. I just got jammed up. I might do a little bit tomorrow. So this company that reached out to Andrew reached out to me. It's indie games that are actually playable on an NES.
Wait, can you repeat that again? I'm sorry.
They make indie games, but the games are playable on the NES. So I have 3 cartridges upstairs, and they're old school cartridges. And you plug them into the NES and you play them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I got the press release to show that off on We the Nerdy.
Yeah.
I remember that, actually. You know what? That company, it's in Pittsburgh.
Yes.
It's here.
Yeah. They reached out to me. I've been talking to the one guy, James. They want me to do some other stuff for them, too, some PR stuff as well, in addition to this. So when we had discussed it, they didn't get me the stuff right away. When I thought that I was going to get the package, I had a lot of free time. And then when I got the package, it was like 2 weeks later. And my time just jammed up. So I got to try to free some up time so I can go do that. But it would be, man, it's just
super cool.
It's cool.
You know,
it's really cool stuff.
It's definitely a different angle of just trying to. I wonder what kind of challenges they have to go through in order to get that down. I guess Nintendo still makes NES cartridges.
Somebody does.
Somebody does.
Yeah.
All right.
So your boy Sean, he says, so Smash Brothers?
I love Smash Brothers. Oh yeah, me and Sean. Him and his brother Aaron came over, GameCube era, Super Smash Brothers Melee, basically summers, playing. Sean would play Captain Falcon. Aaron would play Samus. I would play Falco. Unlimited time, and then it would be in Hyrule. And no items, and we just go for hours on end. And my mom had to basically yank me out of the room.
That's
in order to,
funny. That is so funny.
God, we played so much of that. Yeah, I still play Smash a lot. I have it on 3DS. I hope. Oh yeah, that's another game I would really love on the Switch. I think the Pro Controller is pretty good enough. I don't want a GameCube controller. Another GameCube adaptive controller to the Switch. I think they should let that be its own thing. We had the Wii U. It was good for its time because it was really hard for Wii and Wii U remotes for competitive. I understand that. But I think the Pro controllers are very, very good.
Yeah.
And they're good enough for a new Smash Brothers game.
Yeah. I agree. I think that's my thing. Like, I hope that when Smash finally does hit, that we don't hear the people clamoring that we have to have a GameCube controller for it. Mm-hmm. That would really.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. Well, here's the thing: you can probably. I'm thinking 8-Bit do the company that I'm sure they can make a USB compatible GameCube controller.
Yeah.
Eventually,
I want to get that Super Nintendo one.
Oh, I want to get the. They're having a Pro, like the SNES controller. Yes. It would have analog sticks on it and everything. I want to get that one.
I want to get that one, but I'm kind of waiting for. I'm going to get that one, but I also. The only thing holding me up and waiting is for whenever we finally get the Virtual Console. Because I would like to play it with an actual SNES controller.
Okay, that sounds good. Nintendo asks, which gets more love, guys? New Smash or Melee Virtual Console? Okay, so this is going to be weird because I don't know what kind of new Smash game we're going to get. Are we going to get a deluxe version like Mario Kart and Splatoon, mm-hmm. or are we going to get a completely new Smash Brothers game? I find the latter hard to believe.
Yeah.
At this point, I think Smash 4, it's a great version of that game, and there's so many characters, and I think they can add more kind of relevant characters like Splatoon 2 characters. They could put some arms in there. Yeah. They could put some more stages. I just don't. I find it hard to believe they'll make a brand new Smash game on the Switch, but we'll see.
We'll see.
I love GameCube Melee. I don't think it's for the general audience per se.
Yeah.
I think people will find it very they'll find it very jittery, mm-hmm. very it doesn't feel like Smash 4 at all, and it doesn't feel like the modern 2D games, because they have different weights, different hitboxes. I just feel like the general audience wouldn't like that.
Yeah.
That type of feel anymore.
I agree. Patrick. I'm talking to Garrett, not Pat.
Yeah.
Patrick is Nintendo Talk. Good God, Garrett. Real quick, let's wind it down because I got John Wahl just hit me up. He's ready to pop in here. First off, man, thank you for coming on. That is, this was a lot of fun. I would like to figure out a way to do some type of collaboration with you. Maybe do a game review together in the near future. So we're gonna.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, we'll figure something out and we'll get it all together and all that stuff, and do all that. But that aside, thank you for coming on.
No problem, man.
Do me a favor real quick before we head out again. Let everybody know where they can find you and all that stuff about your blog and all that.
You can follow me on Twitter at Bland, BLAND 725. And I run I just throw out, daily morning tweets Monday through Friday. I try to, at least, around 8 to 9 a.m. I normally get last week I did pretty well, actually. I was proud of myself. I got 15 to 20-ish items on the list, and you can go through it, and I'll have links there and just the title name, and it's all in a good compiled list. And I am also a contributor to WeTheNerdy.com.
Yes,
so
definitely check
you can find me on there. Yep.
Thank you again, guys.
Thank you.
Don't go nowhere. I'll be back in 5 minutes or so with John Wahl. We're going to go for another hour. This is far from over.
Good luck to you.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be fun. So I will see you guys in a few minutes. And Garrett, once again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So first, I gotta change the overlay because I don't think your name's Garret Bland. So we'll change that first.
I mean, we could call me Garret for the whole thing and see if anyone notices.
I prefer Jerry, but okay, we'll go Garret. All right, let me find your overlay that I have here for you, and then there it is, John Walnut. Here we go. Okay, there we go. Okay, so everybody, welcome back. Here we go. Time for Nintendo Talk.
We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live. F it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to a back-to-back episode of Nintendo Talk. I am Bobby, the Nintendo Guru, joined by the greatest Mega Dad in all of Mega Dad world, Jerry Wahl. What's up, right. Jerry? John Wahl.
What's up?
John Wahl, how are you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Oh, man, what are you kidding me? Of course I have you. I gotta have you on. It's been a long time coming, man. A long time coming. It has. We were supposed
You've been dealing with the lesser Mega Dad for long enough.
Yeah, he told me to tell you F you when earlier today we were talking. He was like, tell my brother F you when he's talking later.
He doesn't need to relay that through you. He tells me that to my face all the time.
I figured as much. I figured that was probably the case. He's a bit of a jerk. He's a bit of a jerk.
Yeah, and just to say right off the bat, Adam is a little bit notorious on our show for being a bit of a potty mouth.
Oh yeah,
being a little vulgar.
Yeah.
And I'm going to keep things PG today, out of respect for you.
Thank you very much. That means a lot to me. That means a lot that you would do that, because he comes on here, and I just got to be like, Adam, seriously, come on, this is Nintendo. This isn't Sony trash right now. Like, come on, keep it together. So
can't hear you anymore though.
You can't hear me no more. You can't hear me, really? I wonder if the people can hear me. Is it just you? Can you see me? Uh-oh. That's not good. All right, hold on. We're gonna disconnect the call. I'm gonna call him back right now. Let's see what happens. It might have been his interwebs might have got a little wonky there. We'll get him back eventually, at some point. Adam might have messed up his internet. More than likely. Let's try. I'm going to stop this. Hold on. That face right there is just, ooh. The nice thing is, at least he's second to go. So I can spend a little bit. There we go. He's calling me back. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay. They can hear me too.
Okay, so I'm beginning to think that it's a problem on my end.
I think
Adam's probably loving this.
This. Adam probably messed up your internet, honestly. Because you said he was over there today, didn't you? Or you saw him today?
I saw him today.
He might have done something.
And if you were unfortunate enough to see our Mega Dad's bonus level the other night, we were having major technical issues on that show too. So
you guys actually record that in the same room, right?
Bonus level we do via Skype.
Okay.
Mega Dad's Live, our monthly audio podcast, we get together for that one.
Okay.
Take two.
Here we go. We're back again. If we get messed up, it's no big deal. Like, I don't have nobody following you, so we can just take our time. We can work through this. If we're here till 2:00 in the morning, it's okay. No problem.
The second they saw me, all your viewers left anyway.
Actually, I picked up one more than we had before. I have 13 now. I had 12 leading into this, so we're good to go.
Garret.
Yeah. So here's the thing. We were supposed to get together a while ago when I had this little show called The Hosts.
Yes.
And as much as I enjoyed doing that show, I just at the time felt like I am burned out. There is no way that I can do another show. Like, this is impossible. And then I shut it down. And then I proceed to start doing videos every single day. Your brother just showed up in the chat. He said, haha, your internet sucks, Wahl.
And I think the problem with the host didn't you have Adam on like the very first episode?
It nosedived after that.
So I don't blame you for thinking, all right, this just isn't going to work.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. So Paul Lloyd just joined the chat, but we're up to 16 now. Like, we're doing good, man.
Man, I am so popular.
We got more people here than you guys have on Mega Dad Live. This is awesome.
Like twice as many, at least.
Well, you only have your wives show up, and then your kids. You put computers in front of all your kids, and like, you watch Daddy, and I'm gonna go downstairs. That's why Adam's having more kids, so that way he has another viewer to watch.
What was he thinking?
I don't know, man.
All that just for ratings.
Exactly. That's all it is. He goes, God, I hope it crashes again. He is such a jerk. He doesn't want you to get any of the limelight, man.
Man, and normally it's his internet that's notorious for being fairly terrible.
Well,
mine is...
Yours okay. It was just one little blip. It's okay.
I think that's probably because... I think there are probably 8 devices in my house watching DuckTales right now, so that's probably sucking up the Wi-Fi.
That could be. You gotta like tell the kids it's time for bed. Like,
shut it down.
Yeah, shut it down. Daddy's got to go make money. You go shut it down, even though we're not getting
paid for this.
Yeah, no.
Do I get paid for this?
No, you're not getting paid. Oh, look at this! I just got an email from Nintendo. I got a copyright strike. Imagine that one. What did I get copyright strike for? The Nintendo Guru, episode 16, the future of Nintendo's Virtual Console. I got a claim for a video clip, and then, two claims back. They are just, what happened was I left their group. I left their cult behind, and ever since I left their cult behind, they've been sending me copyright strikes on everything.
I would talk some smack about Nintendo right now, but I'm still waiting to see if I'm going to get a Mario review code. So they're awesome all the time. Gosh, I love
you.
Nintendo.
Know you're not getting if you get a Mario review code, I am going to flip tables. There's no way that the Mega Dad should get a Mario review code before the Nintendo Guru.
I'm a pretty good butt kisser
when
need be.
Apparently that'll do it sometimes. That's all you need. Yeah. It's all right. I'm not ready for review codes. That's too much pressure.
We're never ready for review codes.
Yeah. What did you guys just get? You just got a review code for something recently, didn't you?
I had gotten one for Mario Rabbids.
Mm-hmm. That's the one. That's the one I heard.
Yeah, and Adam did Splatoon. Those were the last 2 that we did.
Dream Daddy Bobby, Dream Daddy. I said Dream Daddy Bobby because that's what came out of that whole stupid thing. Because of you, because you were playing Dream Daddy, and then one day you were like, I was like, what should I play tonight on stream? And you were like, Dream Daddy, and then Alejandro Buendia, he started a name Dream Daddy Bobby and started showing up all over the place. I think I'm going to play that game.
They were very quick to give me a review code for that one. They were like, please, would you like a code?
What I'm going to do is I am going to put a video up, and I'm going to say, if I get 100 likes on this, I will play Dream Daddy and stream it. And
I will get everybody I know to like that video.
Because
we're gonna make that happen.
We're gonna make that happen. My wife will be like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm preparing for when you and I get divorced." And I'm.
What do you think the odds are that there'll be a switch port of Dream
Daddy? Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
That'd be amazing.
Good Lord, I would be like, I think I'm gonna do it. That's what I'll do. This week I'll work on. I'll do a video about it, and
I'm excited.
I'll tell people. If it happens, this is what's going to happen. Good Lord. That's what, you know what I'll do? I'll do a stream, and when I'm streaming live, I'll tell people, if this stream gets 100 likes, then I'll do it. And that means people have to show up and click like, and then at that point I'll go, okay, and then I'll go buy the game or whatever. And
what if you play through the game online and you have the chat kind of vote on which dude you're going to go hit on? And go on dates with? That would be great.
Oh, God. This is getting out of control. What is happening right now?
I literally can't wait for that to happen.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you've watched any of my my Overcooked videos with my wife.
I haven't seen those yet.
Oh, you got to watch them.
That is an intense game.
I yell and scream at her the whole time. It is pretty. I don't know how I'm still married because she's just laughing the whole time. She's sitting right here, and I'm like, I'm yelling at her like, "Get me onions, get me this, get me that."
You'll get your fish when I get you.
She's like, "Whatever." But yeah, she's like, "Whatever," and then she just starts laughing. I think she does stuff on purpose to make me yell, and the chat is like, "Man, you're so angry when you play," and I'm like, "She's not doing what she's supposed to do, man." It's like, come on, man.
Yeah. That game can get we've played it several times with Adam and his wife and my wife, the 4 of us, and that gets pretty intense when someone's not cutting their...
When they're not doing what they got to do. Like, she said to me the one day, she's like, if I worked for you, I'm like, if you worked for me, you'd be fired right now. What are you talking about? She's like, I'd be like, I would Gordon Ramsay your butt. Like, you'd be going.
Hand in your apron and get the hell out.
Exactly. But I'd be like in her face screaming the whole time like he does. I'd throw on a British accent as well just to make
calling her donkey.
It is. I feel like that game though caters to having 4 people. Playing with 2 people is super hard. Like there's levels that you're playing that are just set up for 4 players, and it's like if you had 4 players, it wouldn't be that difficult to do, But having 2 players, it just makes it so. You know what, Rybo? You can exit the stream now, sir. He just said Miss Guru carries the team in Overcooked. The one that let the kitchen catch on fire. The one that just like was laughing the whole time. Like, just leave it alone. Jason Lacey, you could leave too. The 2 of you. That's ridiculous.
That's one of the best couch co-op games I've played in ages.
It's perfect for the Switch, I feel. I feel like it's definitely geared to the Switch, and it just, man, it is pretty awesome. I like it a lot. Brendan Myers just said, Jordan is a jerk for saying pineapple shouldn't be on pizza. It shouldn't be on pizza. Like, only why are you saying whoa?
Only what? Only what, Bobby?
It should not be on there. Pepperoni should be on there. That's it. Pineapple is garbage.
Oh.
Do you really eat pineapple on your? Do you really eat pineapple on your pizza?
I do.
Oh, I
enjoy good. What's the one that Papa John's makes?
Adam, please boot your computer up. I need to replace. I have to have a Megadad here because I advertised a Megadad tonight. I gotta have a. Please bail me out, Adam.
It's top notch.
This is off the rails, man. This is fun.
Yeah,
I like this.
For the record, my wife is doing a terrible job of keeping my children away. They are banging on the door like psychos. They are. I hope it's not picking up.
Well, I don't hear it.
Oh, good. So I can ignore them all.
You know the funny thing is, they could be out there getting murdered, and you're like, "Be quiet." I'm sitting here podcasting.
I taught you how to dial 911 when you were 2. Use it. Jeez. Lazy punks.
Oh my god, this is the best. What what pizza's good for, or you know what's good on pizza? Vodka. That's your brother said.
Vodka.
Who puts vodka on pizza?
Adam can't talk about pizza. He's got terrible taste. Pizza. Him and his Jack's pizzas.
The only thing he's got good taste in is women. He picked the winner with his wife.
He got a good one.
Yeah, but I said this to him, like, what the hell happened to you, man? I look at these pictures of him when he was young, and he was a good looking guy. And then all of a sudden it's like he hit the wall, man. He just fell apart.
Forget young. Just go back like 3 years prior to him having a child.
Oh man.
And he still looked fairly energetic. I mean, I wouldn't go so far as to call him, good looking.
Yeah.
But his hair was taller.
Yeah.
He had a little more pep in his step.
Yeah.
And now he's just a defeated man.
Yeah. I can see that. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh my lord. So
of course he's having another one.
Yeah, he's sick. The reason why I wanted to have you on is this. So I heard about the whole feud in your household when you guys were kids, because I believe he got the PlayStation, right? He got the PS1, and you had the N64.
Yep. That was the first time in our lives where, when we were younger, obviously we all kind of shared a system, and that was the point where we were older and had money of our own, and we diverted, and I went the N64 route. He went the PS1. I mean, we still lived together for a while after that, so we still played, the other systems, but he definitely went the PlayStation direction, and I went N64.
Because I went N64. N64 is on record as being the first home console that I ever bought with my own money. I think I'm 3 years older than you. You just turned 40, correct?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm 43. So we got some old timers on the show tonight, guys. So just relax over there. It's not going to be. We're not up on our tweets and our
better watch it, or
Tinder.
We'll start talking about Atari.
Exactly. Imagine that. The biggest piece of garbage ever, man. Good God. That's why, when people sit there and they go, like, why do you love Nintendo so much? I just turn back and go, you never played the Atari 2600. That's why I love Nintendo so much. Because you played that Atari 2600, I got news for you. When Nintendo comes along, they look like the gods that like, created the world.
Yeah, if you go from adventure and combat to Super Mario Brothers.
Oh my god, them things were so bad. The only good games on the Atari 2600 were Activision games. That was it.
Yeah, I mean, there's still some stuff. I don't have one. I've got a good collection of old consoles now. I don't have an Atari anymore, but I mean, I like the Pac-Man. There are some that I look back on fondly now that I'm sure if I played them, I would recognize them as the garbage that they are. You know, like Empire Strikes Back.
Indiana Jones.
Superman.
Horrible, yeah.
I even remember liking E.T. as a kid.
I liked E.T. as a kid. I did like E.T. as a kid. I didn't think it was as bad as people made out to be. I couldn't understand why, like, I guess because I was just so small, I didn't realize, like, it was, I just like to fall down the holes and then fly back out as E.T. And then one day I finally figured out, like, oh, I have to pick up these pieces of the phone.
And that was like our introduction into gaming. So we weren't coming from anything else before that. So just the act of being able to interact with something on the television was so magical that we would have excused any piece of crap probably.
Yeah. So for me, I bought the N64. That was the first one that I bought. And then, but what killed me and made me buy a PS1 was Final Fantasy VII. Yep. That was the game that was just like, I have to have this console. So I actually went out and bought a PS1, bought that and Final Fantasy VII, and that was all I bought. There were the two things that I came home with. And I was like, I will play Final Fantasy VII, and then I will get rid of this stupid gray thing. And I wound up keeping it, you know, but it, Metal Gear Solid was another one that I played. I don't remember many great PlayStation 1 games. I was still diving into the N64 as much as possible. But there was a few that would make me go, oh, wait a minute, I need to go over here and play this for a little bit. I got my fill, now I'm back over here to Nintendo.
Yeah, I mean, they got a lot of classic series that launched on the PS. I mean, Tomb Raider, Resident Evil. Yeah. I mean, there's lots of classics on there. Yeah. You know, both of those systems, sadly enough, though, I think just hold up poorly today. If you go back and try and replay them.
The worst.
I mean, more than any generation of gaming, beginning to end, that's a tough one to go back to, just because the early 3D games were so rough.
That's why when people are like, hey man, I can't wait for the N64 Classic. I'm like, I really don't want it.
Yeah.
I would only buy it just to have it because I have the other two. I would not play it at all. Like, I would literally just leave it in the box because those games do not hold up. Now, I might want to play Mario 64 with maybe a real GameCube controller, just to kind of. But I bought it for the Wii U in the Virtual Console, and it was garbage, man. I didn't even know what I was doing. The camera was janky as hell. I looked at my wife and I go, I used to love this game. This game don't look anything like, you know what I mean, like I remember.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when, before the N64 was even out, going to a Toys R Us and they had the display model up and playing that game and thinking, games will never be better than this.
Yes, I used to think the same thing.
Yeah, they will never look better than this. They will never play better than this. This is like so leaps and bounds above everything.
And then that piece of trash Uncharted 4 comes out. Then that piece of trash Uncharted 4 comes out and you're like, it'll never be better than this. Hallie did that for your brother. I just did it for your brother. Yeah.
I want to jump back real quick though. Yeah, you mentioned Final Fantasy VII. That game was probably the spark that ignited the tension between Adam and I during the console wars, because that game originally started development for the Nintendo 64 or Ultra 64, I think it was called.
I was just going to ask you that. I was going to say, if I said Ultra 64, would you know what that is?
Oh yeah.
That goes to show you. I remember that. I was like, they're going to call it the Ultra 64. That is the coolest name ever. And then like months go by and like, it's the Nintendo 64, and I'm like, why did they change the name? And because Konami had the copyright on the name.
That's true. Yeah. I don't even think I knew that was the reason, but. Yeah, for months we were going through magazines, like old Game Fan, getting them in the mail, and there were like the first images of Ultra 64 and those first pics of Final Fantasy VII, and it's like, oh, this is gonna be amazing. This is great. And then when the news came that they switched over to PlayStation, and I think that's what made Adam switch over to PlayStation. Yeah. That was like the line in the sand for the two of us.
The thing was,
I've hated them ever since.
And it's funny because when you go back, I don't blame you. The thing is, if you go back, right, and you watch or you listen to the stories now, what went down, to hear that, like, Square went to Nintendo and begged them, don't get rid of Sony. Stay with them. We don't want you to leave. And that's when Nintendo came out with like the disc drive, the 64DD that was supposed to come out. Never made it to the United States, but it was supposed to come out in the United States. And that was supposed to be the answer to the CD-ROMs and all that stuff. And Nintendo basically turned their back on Square and basically told them, like, good luck. Like, and I can see why Nintendo did that because, I mean, role-playing games were not big in the United States at all. And then Nintendo basically started, like, putting out these Nintendo Power issues and, like, really spending time cultivating the culture of role-playing games. I remember getting Final Fantasy 1, an RP, like a strategy guide. So Nintendo Power used to be like a bi-monthly magazine. Before they went monthly, they started to tinker with this idea that, like, hey, we are going to put issue of Nintendo Power, we're going to put a strategy guide. Issue of Nintendo Power, strategy guide. And the second issue was Final Fantasy. And it was just a big strategy guide that was just all dedicated to Final Fantasy on the NES. And I loved it. And I was like, this is awesome, and I fell in love with it. Like, I fell in love with role-playing games. So when they left, it hurt me.
The younger people watching are probably thinking, what's a gaming magazine?
I know. They're like, well, you got GamePro, but GamePro, not GamePro, GameStop
Game
now.
Informer.
GameStop now that does, like, hey, what do you want this magazine delivered to your house or do you want it digitally? And I'm the idiot up until just recently. I was still getting them to the house, and it pisses me off so bad. John, this is the truth, because I was getting them, right? And every month it would be like Uncharted. It would be some Bethesda game. And it would be this. And I'm like, I just throw them right in the trash. Now I'm seeing the ones that are coming out, and it's these beautiful Mario Odyssey covers and Breath of the Wild. And I'm like, damn it. That's the ones I want, man. Like, because I don't ever read magazines online. Like, I got IGN and all these other websites. Why would I go read a magazine online?
I still keep the physical subscription to Game Informer just because I don't like to bring my iPad in while I poop. So I still like an actual magazine.
Yeah, Sean Capri would fight you for that one.
Yeah,
he's all about doing stuff electronically while he poops.
Skinny Matt was wondering when I was going to first talk about pooping.
Yeah,
what are we, about 20 minutes in?
Yeah. There you
go.
Yeah. For me, like that, so that was it. Like, and the funny thing is, like, when you watched the reveal of the Final Fantasy remake, and you saw like Cloud, you see all them guys, like how good they look, right? That's how Final Fantasy VII played for me when I was a kid. Like, that's how it looked.
That's how we remember it.
Yeah, and it was like, my God, will never look like you said, it'll never look better than this. And then now you go back and look at it, it's like, ooh, this is pretty bad. But now it's like, this
yeah, I try not to go back too much into the past to play games because so many times it's just a kick in the pants once reality strikes. I mean, last year I went back and replayed Sonic Adventure for the Dreamcast, which I loved as a kid. Or I guess I wasn't a kid when that came out. I was in my early 20s. But and playing it again now, it was like, this is really, really bad. This is a terrible game. And that it scares me to go back and play, some of the games I loved as a kid because I don't know, was I just ignorant? Was I just fooling myself back then? Were they really good?
I feel like the NES and the SNES hold up.
They do.
I feel like anything after that just doesn't hold up. Polygons do not hold up at all. They just look bad. Bits look amazing. Like, I can go back and I could play Mario World and Link to the Past and all these games, and I go, man, these things look amazing. And then you go play like 64 or Ocarina, and it's like, oh God, this is bad. This is so
it's not just the visuals. It's the developers learning how to control in a 3D space.
Yeah.
And the camera control and just kind of everything. It's like even if they up-resed the graphics and made that, it's like they still were rough to play.
I gotta ask this. Because this jack off keeps counting how many times you touch your face. What is that? What is that?
Should I have the chat open? Is he talking a lot of smack?
He's counting. He goes. John just touched his face again. Third face touch. Fourth. He just put 5. It's like every time you touch his face, he's counting. And now
I don't know what that's all about.
I think that was 6, Adam. Counted as 6, Adam. There's 7. Now he's got me doing it.
No, son of a... Is it warm in here?
It's starting to get warm, right? Oh my god, this is great.
That's why we do an audio show, so nobody can see this.
Nobody can see the stuff you guys are doing.
My weird ticks.
It's fine. It's fine. I didn't even notice it till he started counting, and then I'm like, "What is going on, man?" He just tries to ruin you. That's the problem.
He does.
He just tries.
Nobody asked him to be here.
No, this is true. This is true. But I'm glad you came, Adam. Don't listen to John. Don't listen to Jerry right now. It's okay.
I start now.
That's what I want to ask you. So, what does it feel like to have all these different people reading at your wake when you turn 40 on the podcast?
That was pretty great, I gotta say.
Yeah.
That was really good. I am very, what's the word? Humbled that we have members of our community and people who listen to our show. And as soon as I start talking about that, I think the feed's going to cut out again.
I got you.
It might I don't know if you can hear me still.
I can hear you. I got you.
That.
Can you hear me?
Oh.
Uh-oh. There we go. This is number 2. Okay, he'll probably call me back in a minute. But we will end that for a second. Okay. So, once we get back, we'll jump into this stuff and do it. But I wanted to say this, for those that don't know, Nintendo Talk Live will be going to audio version, starting hopefully next week. We did just submit to iTunes, and then I will submit that everywhere else as well, and kind of get it floating and doing the thing. So we'll see. We'll see how that all works out, how it all pans out, and everything. But it should be interesting. It should be a lot of fun. We're in a situation where things are going relatively well for the channel, for the podcast, and all that stuff. Like, we wouldn't be where we are without you guys. Obviously, you guys are really, truly being super supportive of everything we're doing, and that makes us very happy. And speaking of the devil, here he is. Okay. All right.
I said down the iPad. Oh, okay. We're back. Sorry.
We're back.
Sorry, you didn't see that, did you?
No. We didn't see anything.
Okay, good.
So we're talking about just recently you turned 40, and on Megadad's Live, your brother reached out to a bunch of people that were listening, and basically showed off everything, and basically told us all, like, hey, do this. So we did like a bunch of people reading Awake and such.
Yep.
But
pretending like they would miss me if I died.
Yes. So what I guess what you were talking about, like the community and all that. So go ahead, continue.
No, I was just gonna say that I love how much, when we first started our podcast and our website, it took at least a year before we knew anybody was reading or listening. We got zero feedback, and now looking at it a couple years later, that there's actually, while not a huge group, we have a very awesome group of people that listen to the show regularly and read it regularly and interact with us, and it's just so flattering that people put up with our garbage and that they would care enough to send to take the time out to send an audio clip talking about mocking me and making fun of me. It was kind of touching, even though I was being insulted for most of the time. I was pretty touched.
The funny thing, I'm going to give you behind the scenes now, all right? Because you just know what you heard. I'm going to tell you what went down in the chat. So Adam,
if you tell me he paid you to do it, I'm gonna be really sad.
No. He didn't pay nobody. But what he
Okay.
did was he sends out this group message to everybody on Twitter, and he asks them to do this. So I'm sitting right here and I'm editing one of my 900 podcasts, and I'm going through and I get the message, and I'm like, maybe we'll see. And I start, and all of a sudden, bang, the whole skit plays out in my head of what I'm gonna do. And I click over and I start recording right away. And I do the whole, like, I act like somebody's in the room with me. And I'm saying, like, oh, we'll miss you, Jerry, and all that stuff. Like, I'm totally calling you the wrong name. Then I'm, like, talking to myself, like, what? Who's John? Who's John? I don't care who John is. Like, nobody even listens to this stuff anyway. Like, I go through this whole thing. So I get it done. I'm exporting it, getting it all over. And I look over in the chat, and all these people are on the fence. Should we do it? Damn, it's a little hard. And all, like, that's a little rough. And then Josh Stapleton's like, I just sent mine. Like, he was like, right away. and then I'm like, I think I might have said, or somebody said, like, no, John will love this. This will be awesome. And then I send mine, and then all of a sudden all these other people start sending theirs. And it was so funny. It was.
Yeah. I got a message. I got a message that morning from Sean Capri. And, being Canadian, he's just super worried about offending somebody.
He's such a sissy.
So he was like, I hope we didn't go too far. I hope you weren't insulted.
Yeah.
Hope you're not upset about it.
Yeah. That's his favorite little thing. Hold on a second. Let me just.
Yeah. There we go. But no, I loved it. I thought it was awesome.
The thing with this is that I wanted to, because we're on the community, I wanted to talk about it for a minute and get into it a little bit. So, I'm not going to sit here and act like I've known you guys forever and all that stuff. I didn't know who you guys were. And
we go way back. Way
back.
But
the thing of it is, like, of all the podcasters now, we do go kind of way back. In terms of, like, I felt like I had my little thing going on, right? Mm-hmm. So I had me, and I had Mark Carabin and Warp Whistle, and then I had, at the time, Life of Gaming podcast. It was like a small circle of guys that were doing our thing. And then one day, SteamWorld Heist actually launches, and I did a review for it. And in that, the Nintendo dads also did a review of some sorts. And me and Justin Masson via Twitter connect. And that starts the whole...
That was the first link in the chain?
That was the first link. And then I go on Nintendo dads, which I love the fact... I love Justin to death, but he invites me to come on. And I'm thinking, because I'm doing guests occasionally, and I'm like, hey, I'll bring you on next week. And he's like, yeah, do you have any time in April? And this is like 3 months away. And I'm like, yeah, just remind me. I'm not like, April, dude, really? Like, come on, man. What are you, messed up? Like, you're asking me to come on like 3 months from now? Like, whatever, okay. So, but then that
they got a busy schedule, man.
They got guests every week.
You got to book them months in
advance. Yeah. They're a mess. But so then it really starts up with Extra Life last year. You and Adam start the whole wrestling promo, and you do the wrestling promo, and then I think Justin comes out next, and then Andrew Semachek from We the Nerdy comes out, and then Sean Capri comes out, and then I jump in, and here's a little backstory to that. I don't know if you caught this. So in that promo that I do, for those that don't know, I'm doing, as it starts, John and Adam start the whole wrestling thing. And then Justin Masson does one as a wrestler. I don't know what wrestler he was trying to portray or whatever. And then Andrew Semachek does The Undertaker, and then Sean does The Rock, and then I come in as Stone Cold. And what I did is, because I had my green screen, I put the wrestling crowd behind me, and every time I said something, what would come on, like the crowd screaming what. And I go in and I start listing names, like Nintendo Dad, da-da-da, and I call you guys the wrong name. And it's the first time that this happens. But I didn't know your names. I thought I was saying the right name. I didn't realize I was saying the wrong name. So fast forward, I put it out, and Sean messaged me. He's like, that was the greatest thing ever. He goes, that is so funny that you called them the wrong name on purpose. And I was like, yeah, that was a beautiful touch, wasn't it? I'm like, I'm on the backside, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I called them the wrong name. Like, why did I do that? But it worked out perfectly. So that's why anytime I do something with you guys, I always act like I don't know who you are from now on. Because it fits so well.
It's funny because I must have a very forgettable name because we had Victor Lucas on this summer, and I'm pretty sure he called me Jeff at least once during that interview.
That's funny.
So that's funny. It's not just you.
I know it's just, but to say that, like, because when Adam was on, Adam said to me the one time, he was like, so when do you stop this? When do you stop podcasting and all that? And I turned around and I was just like, hey, this is when we're going to, like, I looked at it and was like, my feeling was like, when I'm not wanted anymore from the community, when the community basically says to me, like, hey man, we're done with you, then I'll leave. Because that's why I do this. This is where it all boils down to, because I started doing it and I really, honestly, man, it's crazy because I really felt like we weren't getting any listens.
Yeah.
At all. Because you don't really have a true way to gauge numbers with podcasting. It's a weird thing. Like with YouTube, I can just go look at a video and I can go, oh, we had 500 people watch. Good. I know where we're at. iTunes doesn't give you numbers. Google Play don't give you numbers. You try to get it from your host. Your host don't give you numbers. I mean, I'm with Dave Moore now, and we're trying to figure out, like, Dave, how do we get numbers just so we can attract more people to come in? We got to be able to show it's a mess, you know what I mean? So the thing of it is like, so I never believed anybody was listening to us, honestly. And then we did that super indie podcast thing. Sean came up with the idea originally to, like, hey, let's get everybody together. Let's stop trying to, have this ultimate thing. We can all be together. And I was like, okay, I'm down with that. So we did that first super indie podcast, Racing Night, Mario Kart 8 and all that. Like, dude, I was legit, like, I was leaving lobbies and jumping into other lobbies. And it was like, I jump into a room and it's like you and Josh Stapleton and Johnny Casino, and I'm like, holy crap, and I jump back out. My wife was playing too, and me and my wife were in two different rooms, and she's playing with, like, Adam and Sean and Dave Moore and all that. I'm like, this is amazing. Like, to see, we had people from Japan we were playing with, from Austria, like, all over the world playing with us, and I was like, this is the moment. This is when I realized, like, as a conglomerate, we got a lot more going on than one person. But I really truly didn't know where I was, like, how big things were until two things. One was we were playing Splatoon and someone on Twitter who's verified, I don't even know who the guy is, he writes for a gaming company, tweeted a picture of Sean Capri running on Splatoon and was like, oh my God, I just saw Sean Capri from If We Were in Nintendo. And I was like, what? Like, what? This is nuts. Like, that's crazy. And then the other one was when we started Patreon, right? So we started Patreon, and I was like, and the only reason we started, honestly, and this is the only reason we started, or it started the conversation, because it was always going through my head. But what started Patreon was Luke Lore. Luke had tweeted me. It was like, hey man, when are you going to open a Patreon? I want to give you money. So I went to Sean. I was like, people are asking, what do we do? And Sean was like, well, I've been kind of thinking about doing my thing. And I was like, yeah, I was thinking of doing my thing. And then we went to Toby, and Toby was just like, I don't know, whatever. He's just like, he don't care. So
it's a tough thing to wrap your head around and pull the trigger on, because it's, it's tough to ask people for money for this.
It is. And it's like, what do you do? You know what I mean? Like, what's to give? Like, what do you do? And I was coming with all this elaborate stuff, and Sean's like, no. He's like, go listen to the Megadads. They give away all kinds of stuff, and they can't get people to get into contests and all that. He's like, just give them the option to just jump in or not. You don't have to
Yep.
throw all this stuff at them. It's great that you guys do that, but it's also, we could see at the time, because at the time the conversation was, we could see like Adam getting frustrated because he's like, man, I'm giving away free games and all this, and like people won't
Right.
take a survey, and he's like, I don't understand, and it's like, so Sean was like, let's just avoid that. This is what we're going to do. We do it, right? And what really truly hit me was, in the beginning, everybody that gets on board is people you know. And it's like, this is awesome. You know what I mean? Like Josh Stapleton's jumping on, all these people we know and we love, they're all getting on board. And I'm like, this is awesome, man. You know what I mean? Then the first person comes in. Because what I do is, when the person joins, I send out a tweet. And I thank them. And I tag them. And I tag Sean and Toby. This way they can also... A tweet comes through, and I send a message to Sean and Toby, because we have a private chat as well. And I'm like, guys, who do I tweet for this? And they're like, I don't know. And I'm like, what do you mean you don't know? And they're like, we don't know who he is. And I was like, what? I'm like, all of a sudden my mind just went pop. Because it was like, wow, there's people that listen to us that we don't know. And it's like, we might be a little bit bigger than we think we are. And it was like, holy crap. And then another one, and another one, and another one. And the cool thing about it is, there's one person that I have no clue who is. I have no clue. His name is Matt Reeve. Matt, please, tweet me, message me, something. If you're listening, you're the only guy that has not reached out to us afterwards. Like, I didn't know who Matthew Knight was. Now I do. I didn't know who James Johnson was. Now I do. Like, there was a bunch of people that were joining that we didn't know who they were. You froze, didn't you? He's down for the count again. I'll keep telling my story. It's Matt Reeves. That's not Mike Reeves. Matt Reeves. You're not Matt Reeves. Get out of here. We lost him for another time. This is actually kind of funny now. And they want me to rate the call. You want to give you like a bad number? Whatever. But anyway, so the point I was getting at with the story was, you have these people joining and you don't know who they are. And it's just like, oh man, this is unreal. Like, I can't believe these people are just doing this. And the chat, you guys are a mess. But it's very appreciative to see where we are now. And, you know, it's pretty awesome. So let's look at the chat real quick while we're waiting for John to come back. John is having a bad night with his internet and all that stuff, but Matthew Knight, Matt is a terrible name. It is definitely. We got Joseph Moran still here swearing he is Matt Reeves. This is lovely. You are really, now I understand why you don't guest spot on shows ever.
No. I love you, Comcast.
I have
You guys
Comcast
are the
too.
best.
They are the worst. They are horrible. Your brother said DuckTales, or I like DuckTables better. Jason Lacey said DuckTables, and then he corrected with Tails, and your brother said I like DuckTables better.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain I'm going to back out of an upcoming interview we've got for our next podcast just because this internet sucks.
Who's the interview with? Can you say?
I don't know. Are we allowed to say? Ask Adam.
Adam, are you allowed to? Is he allowed to say who the interview is with? I got two people that I'm talking to on behind the scenes.
Yeah,
that I'm trying to make it happen.
We have a lot of guests on the show because we're scared, we're terrified. But we've been doing more and more lately, kind of coming out of our shell.
Yeah, you bring on Johnny Casino. Really?
Well, we had to start somewhere.
That was,
and then work our way up.
Oh, good God! I have been in brief chats with Per Schneider from IGN to come on here, and also Marissa Roberto to come on.
Oh yeah.
So if I can get those two, I'll be happy. Should
I plug something on my website real quick?
Yeah, if you'd like to.
Speaking of, I'll just mention it since you brought them up. Have you ever seen? I don't know if anyone's ever read our Gamer Spotlight series, where we interview somebody in the industry and ask them about games that they love and about fatherhood and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
This coming Thursday, we got Per Schneider in the Gamer Spotlight. So,
nice. That's awesome.
Since you brought him up.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I would love to get Per on. I've tried a couple times to get him on, like, If We Were Nintendo, stuff like that. I think, and I'm speaking for him at this moment, but I think he backed out of If We Ran Nintendo because we were still relatively new, and I think he thought that might get him in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah.
Meaning, like, because if you don't listen to the show can come off very, like, who do you guys think you are? You know what I mean?
And I'm sure they probably get requests all the time, so I'm sure they kind of, you know, we usually get ignored when we ask people to come on or do the feature. We usually don't even get a response, and then when we do get a response, it's usually hell no. Who do you think you are asking us?
It's always nerve-wracking. Like, do I ask? Do I not ask? Yeah. Like, what do you do? And then when you finally get someone that says yes, you get, like, all suited. The best one we ever got, not ever got, because we've had a lot of great guests, but one of the coolest guests that we got that came out of nowhere was Kyle Bossman from Game Trials.
Oh, you had... Oh, I got to go back and look that up. I love Kyle Bossman.
That's actually on the Geekcast.
Is it?
Yes, that was on the Geekcast. What happened was, Toby's a huge Kyle Bossman fan. Mm-hmm. And he tweeted at him and was like, "Hey, Kyle, I'm a huge fan. I'd love it if you came on our show." And he was like, "Yeah, man, anytime." That was the problem. Because now, Toby's never booked a guest before. He tells him the wrong time. Right? He tells us all one time, right? And then we go on, and we're sitting there, and we're recording, we're waiting, and waiting, and waiting. And I'm like, dude, I'm like, Toby, we just got to start. We can't wait no more. And we start. When we finish the show, Kyle messages him. All right, I'm ready to go. And I'm like, Toby, what the hell, dude? What the hell? He's like, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. And he's like, ugh. So I said, okay, see when he could do it again. So then it was like 2-3 weeks later. I'm like, we're not getting this guy. He's not talking to Toby. Toby's full of crap. It was like Jan Brady with the boyfriend back in the day. Like, that's how I felt, right? And so then Kyle comes on. Toby don't tell him the video, right? So Kyle comes on. The whole video version of it is just his Skype image of him, of a guy face planting. And I'm like, this is hard. I'm like, Toby, you are not allowed to put guests no more.
So you've arranged all the interviews ever since then, I guess.
Yes, he's never been allowed to do it again. So then I said, now check this. I said to him, not that long ago, I said, hey, man, it'd be really cool if you could reach out to Kyle and see if he's interested in coming on the show again. Like, it'd be nice to get him again. And he goes, oh, I haven't talked to him. I'm like, you're talking to the dude occasionally in DMs, and you didn't continue that relationship? I didn't want to be a stalker if you're weird. I'm like, you, sir, are a jackarse. Like, that, what is wrong with you? Like, that'd be like I talk to Jules all the time now. Like, we become friends. And that started out of, like, we just started messaging each other. And now we message, like, a couple times a week. And it's like, but, like, the thing is, like, if they're willing to talk to you, obviously they like you enough to talk to you. Mm-hmm. They're a normal person. Just keep talking to them. Like, what are you, nuts?
That's the biggest takeaway I took from our trip to E3 this summer was every single person we stopped and tried to talk to, was just so incredibly nice. Mm-hmm. They're all just normal people that are flattered that you listen to them or that you play their games. And I was just amazed at how nice everybody was that we met there. And same on Twitter when, I'll message back and forth with somebody and there's so many super nice people out there that want to, they want to talk about games and they want to come on your show, and I lost the feed again.
Did you really?
Son of a bitch.
We can hear you, though. All right, I got a couple questions. We'll wrap up with him in a second when he comes back. It's getting worse now. It's like every single time. It's getting worse and worse and worse. But we'll get it back in a minute. So, Hope you don't sub the what one. What are you talking about, Jason? I don't know. I don't know what you're saying, Jason. When he comes back, we're gonna wrap it. I got one question for him that'll be kind of interesting. Adam just said, "John sucks. The internet is fighting back. It has standards." Yeah, I'm chill, Jason. I'm chill. We'll see what happens. But anyway, I don't know. We're gonna wrap with a couple questions that are gonna. This will be a fun one. This will kind of get the chat going a little bit. And here we go. Here he is. All right. Oh, this is. He's never
gonna let me back on the show again.
We'll let you in. He's got a hardwire. You got to kick all your kids off the internet. And then the next time, Adam, I'll do it the next time.
I pay good money for dial-up internet. You would hope to have a little better.
All right. Here's a question.
Yep. $100 a month. That's what I pay for internet.
Dude, I pay a lot too. Yeah, I know.
Money well spent.
It's ridiculous. What is the better game? Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Oh, okay.
Or Uncharted 4.
Breath of the Wild by a fairly large margin.
What is the better game? Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild or Uncharted 3?
Oh, definitely Breath of the Wild. Definitely Breath of the Wild.
You know why I'm doing it. In all honesty, all seriousness now.
Adam would say yes to both of those two, by the way.
I'm sure he would. He knows. He's not stupid.
He knows.
He knows what's up. What wins Game of the Year this year in your mind? If right now, what we know of Mario happens and all that stuff, and yeah, he just said, even I said Breath of the Wild. Come on, dude.
Yeah.
Right now it ends. The year ends. What do you feel is going to win Game of the Year?
Before playing Mario?
Yeah. Well, you've played Mario, haven't you?
I've played a snippet.
Okay.
We played a little bit at E3, but not enough to have like a real opinion on it. I Breath of the Wild right now.
You don't think anything can beat it?
No. I mean, I'm not going to say nothing can beat it, because the last couple of years, the games that I've chosen for Game of the Year have been very out of left field. Games that I hardly even knew about going into the year.
Yeah.
So there can always be that surprise, that surprise indie or that game that just is so much better than you think it's going to be.
Yeah.
But right now, Breath of the Wild is so, there's not even a close second for me right now at this point. Mario, I think, could come close. That looks really, really, really good. But my money's on Zelda still sticking it out in the end.
Yeah. I've said it before. I feel like the only thing that can hurt Mario is if you go into an IGN battleground, like when they're doing their year-end review and all that. And you have the Nintendo fans fighting between Mario and Zelda, and then something like Nier or Horizon just gets raised up higher just because there's only one. Like the Sony fans are all voting for that one, and Nintendo's they're voting for two, and it splits the votes. That's the only way I could see something bad happening for Nintendo and Zelda. But I feel like what they were able to accomplish with that game, mind-blowing.
I mean, it was so beyond not only just any Zelda game I've ever played, but just kind of beyond any other game I've played in a really, really long time.
I think what impresses me the most, 0 glitches on an open world game.
Yeah, boy, I really don't remember.
For the first time coming out the gates with a big, massive open world game, nothing. The only thing they had was a slowdown that in 2 weeks after launch they fixed it.
Yeah, I don't even remember at launch it being really bad, but
it was just in the tall grasses. It would slow down a little bit. You get a little slow. If you ever made it to the woods, that one section, where
it got pretty bad there.
It got bad there, but they fixed it after 2 weeks. All they did was they put the patch out that fixed and it was a Wi-Fi issue. That's all it was. Who knew? So
Right.
it's pretty impressive in my mind that they launched that massive that type of a game and it didn't have a lot of glitches. Because I look at games like Fallout 4 and whatever else, and it's just like
hot messes.
Yeah, it's like, how the hell did this get through QA, man?
And I think the thing that made that game so special for me, and Adam, I know, talks about it a lot too, is it became such a family experience.
Mm-hmm.
You know, our wives loved to play it. Our kids loved to watch it. My oldest daughter has been obsessed with Zelda ever since then. She's got Zelda action figures.
That's
She's
awesome.
got Zelda poster in her room. I mean, she has just been that, you know, she'll grow up remembering that game as being, you know, not her introduction into gaming itself, but just kind of to that world and just showing her what games can be.
Yeah.
And that made it really special.
Yeah. It was. It was, to me, just the fact that we got voice acting in it meant a lot to me. I hope the next one actually gives Link a voice, because I'm not that person that's like, Link doesn't need a voice. I wish he spoke.
Yeah.
Just a little. It doesn't have to be huge dialogue stuff, but
Right.
like when someone asks him a question, it'd be kind of cool if the guy was like, "Yeah, dude, that works."
Right.
You know, rather than just shaking his head like, "Uh huh." Like, really? Come on, man. Like, I just want a couple words. That's all.
Yeah.
Even if he just said, "Excuse me, princess," that would be kind of cool. I'd be all right with that. You know what I mean?
I almost thought they were going to do that at the very end of the game, just like have him say one line
that'd
of
be
dialogue
funny.
at the very end. I was just waiting for that.
That would
but-
have been the best. I would have
Yeah.
lost it. The
Yeah.
were you? I don't want to get spoiler heavy.
Right.
But were you good with the ending, or were you?
I was good with the ending. I mean, it wasn't elaborate and a long, stretched out ending, but so much of what I loved about that game wasn't necessarily the storyline that they were telling, but just the experience of it.
Yeah.
So I wasn't disappointed that it wasn't a, you know, huge 10-minute cutscenes with loads and loads of story. Yeah, I was good with it. I'm very curious to see what the DLC, because that should be out, December, right? The story
I
DLC?
hope so. Well, I was just saying this to, I think, Sean the other day, or somebody, I don't know, one of my million podcasts. I said it to somebody, and I said, I just got an email from Best Buy that the Amiibo are coming out November 10th. I would assume that the Amiibo are coming out the same time, or relatively near the same time, but who knows? But then again, I thought about it, I was like, man, if it comes out in November 10th, that means you only got 2 weeks between that and Odyssey, and that makes no sense.
That's awfully close together.
Yeah, you would want to get that away. Like, if I'm Nintendo, I want to keep them two separate from each other. As far as you can. I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't have a problem if they push it off till January, February, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
I
mean,
got so much stuff to play right now, I don't have any.
Yeah, seriously, there's so many things that, yeah, I'd be good with that too.
And the thing that bothers me with Zelda is, dude, I went back, right? So I played the first round. I think I beat it with like 70 shrines, something like that, 60, 70 shrines. Go back, start playing the DLC, and I'm like, no, I'm going to go get all 120 shrines. And I put like another, like, I was out and playing other games, and then it just sucked me right back in. And I stopped playing ARMS and just started playing that and never looked back. And then when Splatoon
so did the rest of the world.
This is true. This is true. Nintendo's biggest mistake for the Switch so far was they just left ARMS out to dry, man. They basically were like, oh, this is going to be a great game. Great. Oh, Zelda, see you later. And it was just...
And it had good buzz going into launch.
Oh, my God, dude.
It just kind of, though, withered on the vine. I don't know.
It was bad. It just died quick.
Yeah.
John.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna shut her down at this point. I'm actually
Before my internet dies again.
yeah, we're gonna do it now. Oh, we're up on the hour. I figured this is a good time to probably try to bang it out real quick before anything happens. I just do want to say this to anybody that's in the chat. I'm going to shut the stream down for about 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes, and then I'm gonna fire up Splatoon. I'm gonna play some Splatfest till midnight and do that stuff. So if you guys want to join me, you can do that. Absolutely. That aside, John, let everybody know like how they can find you and communicate to you and send you some love.
I am at Walnut77 on Twitter, or at Megadad's blog is where I'm usually posting stuff. And we're on Facebook. We've also got a Facebook private group. If you want to come in and chat with us and a bunch of other cool guys, join that. And megadads.org is our main website with all our writing and comic strips and all the stuff we do. And Megadads Live on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play every month.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on, man. This has been too long.
Thank you for having us.
Way too long. Way too long.
So fitting.
I've had Adam. I've had Adam on a couple times, and let me guess, the internet went down. Yep, the internet goes down. Perfect timing. Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in tonight. And I will be back in about 10 minutes or so to hang out with you and play some Splatoon 2. That is all. Peace out, Preston.